All right, so let's go ahead and make a music manager. What I'd like to do is have one set of music play when I enter this region, and then when I enter back into this region, play more of a calming music. And so what I'm going to do is inside the scripts folder, I'm going to make another folder. I'm going to call it audio. And I'm going to create a C# script. And I'm just going to call this music manager. Now, before I get into scripting that, we need some music. So I'm going to go to Window, and I'm going to go to Asset Store here. Sorry, Window, and then Asset Store here. And that opened up the Asset Store for me. If you click on Audio here, this will give you a bunch of audio assets you can purchase. I'm going to go down to Free Assets here. And you can see there's Free Sound Effects Pack, 8-bit music. Let's take a look at this 8-bit music here. Now, I don't have it where it's recording my PC audio. So I'm going to pause the video and just listen to it, but I think this is good enough, at least for testing our audio. This is actually perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and click Add to my assets. Now, I don't think I'm signed in. So once I hit this, it's going to prompt me to sign in. I'm going to sign in with my Gmail. All right, now that it's signed in, I'm going to click Add to my assets. I'm going to hit Accept. And it's going to prompt me to open it in Unity. I'm going to hit Open in Unity. And then it should fetch it. And there's 8-bit music, and I'm going to download that. Now that it's downloaded, I'm going to hit Import. Up here, this button here. And with all of these done, I'm going to go ahead and hit the Import button. Now, hopefully there isn't a glitch. I restarted the recording so that I could record the system audio. But what happened is, you can see here that at the top here, I have 8-bit music. And there's these different tracks. And I can go ahead and, if I double click it, it'll allow me to open it in a music player. I can also expand this up here and press play. So that might be a cool beginning audio track. Let's see what this one's like. Really nice adventure music. I want something a bit more calmer for the beginning. I like track 5. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to open up my music manager and we're going to start writing out the script. All right, and while we're at it, let's go ahead and create a game object inside of here. And we'll create an empty one. And we're just going to call this music manager. And then we're going to grab this music manager script and drop it on there. And a couple things we need is we're going to need a, let's see. Trying to think of how we're going to script this. Maybe we'll do this based on triggers, like a collider. So as we enter this region, we'll play one music. We'll have like a collider there. You know what? For the sake of simplicity, because we are going to write a more advanced music manager, go ahead and grab your music manager here. I'm going to press W on it. And we'll just treat this as, instead of a music manager, we'll just have it like as a music player. And then we'll create a manager later. This is just so that I'm going to drag this outside the managers area. And that way we just have like a good testing proof of concept for music manager. All right, so I need to add a couple components. I need an audio source. And what an audio source does is it plays our music in the scene. So this is the source. Now our player is going to need essentially an audio listener, because as we get closer, the player is going to listen for the audio here. So let's go ahead and add I'm going to pause the video and add a couple of variables here. All right, so we have the audio source. And if you look here, audio source has this area for a clip, and we can play on awake. So if I drag one of these clips in, let's say track 1, and I press play, you can hear that it's playing the music right away. And then you could adjust the volume. So let's go half the volume there. And so what we're doing here on the music manager is we want to get access to an audio source. So I'm going to drag that audio source in there. And we're going to be changing this clip on the audio source to these different tracks. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do none here. And because we have a variable here of type audio clip, then you can see we have audio clip here. And it's called default music. And we're going to use that to load in. Let's just go with track 1 for now. And then here is our new region. So as we enter this region, we want it to play different music. So let's see if we could find a menacing sound. Let's see. I think track 3 sounds a little mysterious, and like it could be like danger music. So as we enter here, now the next thing we're going to need is a box collider. So I'm going to do collider 2D, and we want it to essentially wrap this whole area here. So as we're walking between these two bushes, this is where our music is going to change. And we have this Boolean here to check if the music is paused, okay? Because we're also going to do maybe letter Z where we can stop the music to, so it doesn't annoy our player. So let's add some code in the start method so that we load this clip here, the default music clip, into our audio source. All right, so what we're doing here is we're grabbing our audio source, which is this guy right here, and we're saying audio source.clip, which is accessing this, equals default music, and then we play that audio source. So I'm going to press play, and now you can see that it automatically drags track 1, and it loads it in at the start of our game. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to type in the on trigger enter and exit. Now look here under box collider 2D, we want to turn on isTrigger. And what that's going to do is, just like in other stuff, if our character walks in, right, our player character here, which has a collider, right, walks into this region, we're going to trigger that. So let's go back to our music player here. I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to type out that code. All right, so we have on trigger enter other. So it's going to, as we enter there, we're going to be looking for something. If the other object that we bump into is tagged player, so let's make sure our player is tagged player. And the music is not paused, right? If you look up here, we have a is music paused equals false. This is the pause the track of music. So if it is not paused, we're going to change the music in our new region. That's this method down here. So new region, change music, new region, music. That's this method here, right? And the new region music for this area is the second audio clip. So we're going to change the music. So how do we do that? Well, we grab new region music here. All right, so new region music here gets passed in when we enter this area, right? And if there is it says audio source.clip not equal to clip, that's just checking that if we don't have a clip dragged in here, then we're going to set that clip to whatever's being passed in, and then we're going to play that audio. That's how we change the music. And as we exit the collider here, we're going to check if the tag is a player, and if is not set to music is paused, that means music is paused as false, which we have it set to false. We're going to change it back to the default music. Let's go ahead and save this, and let's press play. Let's see. We have it set to isTrigger. So I feel a little silly, but here is, we're supposed to put 2D at the end, in Collider 2D. I forgot to enter, I just made an on-trigger enter a regular one. Sorry, I'm jumping between programming a 3D and a 2D game. But the good news is it's pretty much the same, right? We just add 2D at the end and we make sure our collider is checking for a 2D. So now when we press play, you can see if we enter this region, we enter the danger zone, and then when we exit, we enter back. Now what we can do is, if you want, you could set Like right now, you can see that if you only want this to be just this region here, so let's go to our box collider here and expand that out. Like as long as they're in this region here, let's see, like this is the danger region, right? Come on. You could also attach this music manager to the slime monster. So let's say we do that and then we reset the position here. And now if we adjust the size of this, let's see if we could really scale this down. Anytime we come close to the the slime monster, like everything is fine. When we get away from the monster, we can return to our normal audio. All right, let's do a couple other things. Let me go ahead and save this. Let's add a little bit of code so that when we hit the Z key, it'll turn off the music. All right, so inside of our update, we have a if input.getKeyDown. You should be comfortable with this at this point, where we're just looking for the key, which is Z. We're going to toggle the music to play, or pause rather. We'll call this method. An update is called every frame, so it's always checking if we press the Z key. And if we go down here where it says toggle music pause, if we press the Z key, it'll call this method. And what it's saying is if music is paused, which means this is set to true, which at the default it's set to false. Then what we're going to do is we're going to set it to false and we're going to play the music. Else, so what they're saying is if this is not true, that means music is paused. That means it's set to false. What we can do is we can pause the music. And because remember, we always have it set to false when we're playing. Because this is just saying music is paused. So we're going to say music is true, is music paused equals true, which means music is paused. And then we're going to just do audio source.pause. So let's go ahead and test this. Sorry, I hit Control S, I meant. And we have it mapped to the Z key. So I can press C, turns off the music. Turn it back on. All right, and that's it.